Today on the table, I'm just doing a bit of a disassembly on a Telstra Toughmax 2, also known as a T85, produced and manufactured by ZTE, rebranded by Telstra. These ones are relatively straightforward to take apart. The screws on the back, I believe, are like a hexagon shape, which with the right tool you'll be able to take them out. If you got one of the like 48 or whatever amount screwdrivers in one kit, the ends on there should be compatible. So I've taken the 4 out on the back, and I'm just checking out the SIM card tray, which is just a metal sleeve that slides in. And then from there's also some Torx screws on two on the left and two on the right. I'm just trying to figure out which one it is. It looks to be a T3, possibly a T4 screw on the side. But then once we get into the phone itself, it does only utilize Phillips heads. Screws are removed, you should be able to use a flat pry tool and should be able to open it up from there. There is a rubber grommet. As you see, the SIM tray cover just flew off. But there is a rubber grommet on the back cover, and there is also a connected fingerprint scanner, as you see there. So that one did come off as I took it open. That's just something to be aware of there. From here, the rest of it looks fairly familiar. Now, the reason for this teardown is I'm curious how much of this is replaceable. So as you see, I've got two of them. One of them I've bought for parts, and the other one I'm just hopefully seeing if it's got a fault. So I'm going to start down the bottom section here and undo the Phillips head screws and reveal this cover, which does contain a daughter card that has the external antenna on it. In comparison to the T84 or the Toughmax 1, they had the external antenna soldered directly onto the board itself. As we'll find with this one, it is a removable card, or removable board, I should say. And from here, I'll proceed and remove the top half, or the top black cover that you can see there. It's also using a Phillips head screwdriver, or Phillips head screws. So you should only really require about 3 or 4 tools to do this job. The pry tool, the hexagon end, or the hexagon driver, the T3, T4 screw, and a Phillips head. Possibly a pair of tweezers. Now I am curious how much of this will be replaceable as well. So disconnect the battery as always. So on the bottom here we've got the daughter board for the external antenna. Now I would probably want to remove the battery. I will also zoom the camera in just to make it a bit easier to spot the internals from this point on. So I'll just do that in just a second. So I've managed to remove the main board, and left remaining on there is the shield which goes over the various chips, which would also be for cooling. The T84 had a very similar instance where one of the shields would also stay on the board, so this doesn't really surprise me. Shield off, as it does look like it's attached to a copper cooler or some copper thermal tape or something to that effect. Anyway, I'll proceed on from here. Underneath this as well looks to be the LCD flex connector. So I'll leave that for now, being that the screen's perfectly functional. There's no point attempting to disassemble that further. And now I'm going to attempt to remove the battery out of it. Over to a more heavy duty pry tool. That should enable me to remove the battery. Battery removed. It looks like most of the components on this should be, if the spare parts exist, replaceable. So this flex connector here also contains the microphone and the charger port. I know, my mistake. It contains the connection to the daughter board and the charger port itself. So let's do a bit of an overview of the board here. But by the looks of it, if you've got a T84 or T85 ToughMax 2, if you can get the spare parts, you should be able to replace the display, the external antenna, the battery, and also the charger port without doing any work to the main board itself. So I hope this disassembly video helps you guys out there. But anyway, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.